Just like we need a quick second to boot. Reboot.
Seriously. All
So,
right. You're welcome to start. Thank you.
welcome everyone to this midday for some of you practice together. So let's just take a moment to settle. And so come into a posture where you can be relaxed but alert. If you want to have eyes open or closed, that is either way is fine. And the inquiry question for this arriving practice will be, what's my internal speed? Am I going too fast for my liking? Too slow? Or am I going just right? We get to be Goldilocks. Am I too fast, too slow, or just right now? And as you check in with yourself with this question, you just sort of notice what you're paying attention to that determines your internal speed. For some of you, you may be noticing physical sensations, perhaps heartbeat or breath that helps you determine your inner speed. For some of you, it may be your mind, the activity in your thoughts. Are your thoughts spinning quickly, too slow, or just right? And then others of you may notice your emotional world. Do you have a lot of fast moving emotions right now from events in your life? Or are your emotions pretty calm and quiet and still? And again, we're just noticing. No need to fix, no need to change anything, but just being curious. And as you stay curious, you might notice that your speed is shifting a little bit as you're settling in, or it may be just the same. So, and as we come out of our arriving practice, thank yourself for being willing to pay attention. So, welcome everyone. I am so happy to be here with you all today from all over the world. And I am broadcasting from Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I have lived for many, many decades. And I was thinking about a topic because I'll do just a little educational piece here, and then we'll do a longer practice together. And then at the end, open it up for some questions or comments. I was thinking what might be helpful for you all today. And it's the topic of neuromodulation. So some of you might say, what's that got to do with meditation and at a Buddhist retreat center? And so my background, I am a clinical social worker and a trauma therapist and a longtime meditator. I lived in an ashram for 8 years in my youth. And so I've been on a multi-decade path towards, you know, regulation and presence and mindfulness. And one thing that I have found so helpful for myself, as well as many clients and students, is this concept of paying attention to our internal nervous system, our body, what's happening with our sensations, because it has a very powerful effect on our sense of stability and regulation in the world. And so the term neuromodulation basically means what we can do to impact the functioning of our nervous system. And you may have noticed a bit of neuromodulation happening already in the arriving practice. Perhaps you came from a busy morning or evening or day, and you felt yourself maybe slow down a little bit. Or maybe you were sort of groggy, and now this social connection on this practice together brings some more energy to you. So you're already doing some neuromodulation. And, in the medical world, neuromodulation is seen as more external things, stimulation or TENS units or these kinds of things that affect the nervous system. But in reality, everything that we do affects our experience, right? So how I move affects how I function, right? If I exercise, if how I rest, what my sleep is, affects this neuromodulation, if it's going smoothly or not. The quantity, speed, and quality of my thoughts has a direct impact on my nervous system. If I think about an interaction that left me perhaps upset or, bristling a little bit, if I think about that, the thoughts that I generate will actually shift my nervous system into more of a sympathetic fight-flight state. My heart rate may increase, my jaw might set more. And so the quality of thoughts may shift how my nervous system is functioning. And this can be really amazing because we actually can do a lot to help increase our capacity for regulation, for stability, for resilience, for steadiness, for equanimity. And likewise, if we have swirling emotions, that also is going to affect our nervous system. If we're really sad, we might drop more into our dorsal vagal system in the polyvagal theory, which is more of that collapse, feeling a little hopeless or helpless, which has a direct impact on our breath, our digestion, our sleep. So knowing this actually gives us so many options of tending this beautiful body of ours and this amazing nervous system of ours to support it in our highest good, right? For ourselves and for all of those that we interact with. So our nervous system functions best when it's fluid and flexible, right? When we can adapt and we can modulate to meet whatever situation is happening, that situation that's going on. If I'm driving on the freeway, I want to have a quickly adaptive nervous system if I need to change lanes quickly. But I don't want to stay hypervigilant when I get home for the rest of the evening. I want to be able to come down out of that. And for many people, our nervous systems get stuck, either going too fast, too slow, right? And we feel like we just aren't ourselves, like we're stuck in thought loops, stuck in emotional loops, or have some, physical sensations that are challenging or uncomfortable or a lethargy. So we have an opportunity, knowing this beautiful information, we have an opportunity to support the functioning of our body by the input that we take in from our environment, from our body sensations, from our food, from our thoughts, from our emotions. Our bodies are always moving towards homeostasis. Some people may feel like I've been stuck for a long time, or I'm working on a lot of issues from the past, and it seems like it'll take forever for me to feel balanced. As a former body worker and a longtime therapist, I completely trust that the body is always having the intention to move towards balance and homeostasis. And so, how can I support that the best? So, one of the beautiful things is our mindful attention. When we go through our daily life and have an experience, what is the impact of that? So, for example, if you have coffee, right, what happens in your body as you drink? Did you get just the right amount to make you a little bit more alert? Or was it too much or too little? If you find yourself listening to too much news, what happens inside you with that diet of information that you have absorbed through your eyes, through your ears? And so, by paying curious and kind attention to the impact of what we take in is so important, right? If I have sugar, if I'm overwhelmed at work, what is the impact of that? If my partner is really struggling with something, what happens inside of me in response to that? So, one of the first and beautiful practices is languaged by Deb Dana, who is a therapist that has worked a lot with polyvagal theory, and that is a practice of noticing and naming. Notice and name. We'll be practicing this in a minute. But you might, it's like, oh, I woke up and I didn't sleep well. Oh, I'm groggy. It's like, okay, I'm noticing. I feel sluggish. I feel groggy. My brain's not really working. And I'll name it. I didn't sleep. I didn't get good quality of sleep last night. Okay, thank you. When we can notice a name And the naming is powerful because we can get really upset by, oh no, it's going to be a hard day today. I didn't get enough sleep. When we name it, we actually bring some left-right horizontal integration in our brain by finding the words that match. I'm groggy, I'm irritable, I'm fuzzy. This brings some left-right balance into our brain functioning, which has the effect of softening or down regulating the emotional intensity. Another example might be, oh, the news today was just really upsetting. I'm just really angry. Oh, I'm angry. Okay, how do I know that? Because my jaw's set. I've got these looping thoughts. My stomach feels a little queasy. Yeah, I'm upset. I'm angry. Noticed it, named it. It can help bring that upset down even just a tiny bit, right? Which helps our system be fluid and flexible through this mindful attention. And then we have an opportunity to ask ourselves another inquiry question is, what is it that I need right now? And the the beautiful thing is as you build a toolbox of resources, things that you can do or experiences you can give yourself that shift your state a little bit. Like, oh, when I'm angry, sitting still for meditation doesn't work for me. I need to do some vigorous exercise because my body wants to move, right? I'm in that sympathetic fight flight place. I want to move. Maybe I'll dance, put on some music and dance. That becomes a resource for you to help regulate your experience, to help you metabolize those emotions, to help move them through your body so that your body can come back into greater regulation. So, what is it that I need right now? Like, what things can you do or practice in your life that bring you greater stability, equanimity, calm? And these are simple things, right? Like, I need to go stand in the sunshine for a few minutes. I need to drink some water. I need to take a few deep breaths. I need vigorous movement. I need to call a friend. I need to do something creative. Let me cook something for dinner tonight. Right? All these things are activities and mental emotional states that can help your body come back into balance. And the key source of that is paying attention, where mindfulness comes in. So let's do a longer practice together, and then we'll have some time for questions. And so we're going to attend to our posture. What kind of posture does your body want to be in right now? If you have been sitting down most of the day, maybe you want to stand or lie down for this practice. Maybe you want to move to a different chair. Maybe you want to sit outside if your weather is appropriate. How we notice what it is that we need is through paying attention to our sensations. This is called interoception. Turning our mindful attention inward and noticing the sensations that we're experiencing. So noticing what position is my body most comfortable in for today, for right now. And then see if you can be curious about what part of your body feels the most balanced, the most steady, or the most neutral. Perhaps it's your back being supported, or maybe it's the weight of gravity in your pelvis. Or perhaps it's your breath, feeling that steady in breath and out breath. Locate this body sensation of groundedness, of steadiness, wherever it may be in your body. And then take a moment to savor it. It's like, I've landed. There you are. In the midst of my life, there is this place today that I can drop into for some steadiness. And as you savor this anchoring, just be curious to see what else might be happening in your body. There may be nothing of note, but there might be a small shift in the bracing that you feel, maybe less bracing in your shoulders. Perhaps your hands feel a little bit warmer. Perhaps your breath is a little bit slower. Maybe you're yawning, which is a beautiful sign of down regulating and balancing in your nervous system. And then checking back in again as we did in our arriving practice. Right now, Is my internal system going too fast, too slow, or just right? Sometimes when we're meditating, our mind is just buzzing and humming away, right? It doesn't slow down much. So maybe that's happening. Or maybe you have some chronic pain or a health issue that keeps pulling your attention. So take a moment to notice and name what's happening inside. Worry thoughts, stomach upset, achy back, whatever it may be. If you have an experience of an emotion like anxiety or irritability, what sensations are you experiencing that you label with that emotion? Is there some restlessness in your legs when you're irritable or anxious? Maybe a weight on your heart if you're sad. What sensations am I experiencing that name this state that I'm in? And remember, there's no judgment about what your experience is. There's no right or wrong. There's nothing to get rid of, nothing to fix, even though we all want to be out of discomfort. See if you can stay curious, because sometimes just the noticing of the body sensations of your experience allows them to start to modulate, to shift, even a tiny bit. So, another beautiful inquiry question that sort of is the next step is, what is it that my nervous system needs right now? So, just some little ideas. If you're feeling too fast inside or your mind is going, make your exhales longer than your inhales. This is a very powerful neuromodulating tool. When we exhale longer, it sends the message to our vagus nerve that says, hey, I'm really okay here right now. We can decrease this heart rate. We can slow down a little bit. Right now, things are okay. If you're feeling a little sluggish or lethargic, make your inhales longer than your exhales. This has the effect of stimulating your system a little bit. The longer inhales tell the vagus nerve, oh, we need a little bit more juice in the system here. Right? Repeating these breath patterns for 4 to 6 cycles can help shift your nervous system a bit. If you're feeling like there's so much going on inside of you, a lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts, a lot of life events that feel too much, sometimes it can help to open your eyes and find something pleasant in your environment, right? We can get so wrapped up internally that sometimes just looking around and finding a color, a shape, maybe a photo of a friendly face of family or friends can give a different input into our nervous system and help it modulate. And if you're feeling like the external world is just way too much for you right now, closing your eyes and coming back to that steady anchor that you identified as we started our practice can be an internal refuge of safety and steadiness that you can land on to help modulate your system into a bit more comfort and steadiness. And then a last resourcing practice is take a moment to think of an activity that also brings you steadiness. So this could be taking a walk, talking to a friend, drawing, praying, doing yoga. These are resources from your toolkit of neuromodulation skills. And imagine doing one of those resources right now. So if you have a pet that you love to touch and stroke its fur or feathers, imagine doing that now and be curious as to what begins to happen in your body. As you imagine having fun with a friend, flesh out the details of that experience, where you might be, what time of day. Maybe you're laughing. And as you stretch out these sensory qualities of your imagined resource, notice what begins to happen inside your body. Do any sensations shift or tensions melt? Resourcing ourselves, even through our imagination, is incredibly powerful as a neuromodulator to shift our state. And when we can shift our internal state, we shift our storyline. So, if you wish, you can stay with this imagined resource, savoring it, stretching out the goodness of it. Or you can land back again on your original anchor sensation of steadiness. And you can add in some kindness to yourself for being willing to show up, to try some practices that may be new to you. Thank yourself for listening to your body. This is not an easy task for so many people to listen to this language of sensation within. And I'll close with a poem by Rosemary Watola Trommer entitled To the Self Who Thinks Faster is Better. as slowly as this aloe grows. Could I dare to flow that slowly from this uncomfortable moment into the moment that follows? Not just slow, no, but deliberate, willing to notice all that is here. For so long, I have trusted the part of me who believes faster is better. Now I'm exhausted. And of course, I want to get over my exhaustion fast. Truth is, I love slow. I love the juiciness of presence and quiet. Oh, paradox. Can't I move fast and still feel spacious? The aloe knows a single leaf a month. Is leaf enough? I touch my palm to my belly and whisper aloud what Augustus said. Slow is enough. Slow is a blessing. Slow is safe. The self who wants this ache to go away fast and faster sits beside the aloe and imagines it might open to aloe wisdom. I imagine my blood thick as gel in the aloe leaves. I imagine a single leaf of a thought at a time. I notice the prickle of discomfort and name it discomfort. Notice the impulse to get up and run. Notice the part of me that wants to feel better right now. Notice how the more I notice, the more slow feels like home. Rosemary Watola Trommer. So as you come out of your practice, you can move your body slowly, open your eyes softly. Welcome back from our practice. And we have about 10 minutes or so to see if there's any questions anyone want to share about their experience, or questions about notice a name or resourcing yourself or neuromodulation, or if you noticed any shift in your experience. And if you can use the hand function, I can't see all of you. There's 20 or so folks, so I don't have the full page, so I won't know necessarily if you're raising your hand. So that would be in the reactions button on your Zoom toolbar. And also through chat too. Yeah. Do you feel a little different? Do you feel like your state has shifted a little bit? Are you a little slower if you started out fast? Or a little more grounded? You're still all really mellow. Yeah, Allison, feel much slower than an hour ago in a very nice way. So, Allison, if you would be willing, um, in what way? What's the nice way? Because here we're going to be mindful of language and how making our language more sensory embeds this nice feeling in a more concrete way?
Um, I very much physically. I came straight from working, took a break, and my when you were first speaking, my body felt a little more tense. And I feel like I was almost like the poem, trying to slow down rather than just letting it happen. And so as we sat, just feeling my body relax, and with that, my mind relaxing and all my to-do list fading.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So relaxation, slowing, the mental list softening and getting fuzzier in the background. So those components, as we begin to name those, we solidify them instead of just saying in a nice way, right? So beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And Kirby, I feel a huge shift, much more grounded. My mind was stirring and I felt it affecting my body before this practice. Yeah, so we're beginning to really know that what we think and the emotions we feel has a direct impact on our physiology. And knowing that we're not at the mercy of that, right? That we can change what we're doing to change our physiology. It's very empowering. Jennifer, I do feel calmer, but it helps to listen to someone. Of course, it does. So we are social creatures, and there's an amplification of our practice when we're in a group. And so, I teach on Insight Timer, which is a meditation app that you can download on your phone. And I have many practices on the free side of the platform, things like embodying your resources and modulating internal speed. I have so many trauma-informed and body-oriented practices, like the ones I shared with you today, that you can get that support through an app. There's nothing wrong with that. As you gain more skill in noticing sensations, in paying attention, doing an intervention, giving yourself a resource and noticing what happens, you'll get more skilled over time and it will be easier to do on your own. We just never learn these things, right? So how would we be able to do them alone? And usually once a week, I do a live session on Insight Timer. It's usually Saturdays at 11 Mountain, but I have all sorts of topics that I do. I'm not teaching this Saturday, but the link, Kiki will put the link in at the end of this practice. You can follow me there. I also have a number of courses on that platform. That's part of the paid side. There's the links. So it's insighttimer.com/choosing mindfulness is my Insight Timer link. And I have a 21-day course on the nervous system that goes over all these states of, our sympathetic and dorsal and ventral states. I have inviting safety practices, a mindful aging 14-day course. So this kind of support is really important. So, and we feel more connected. So the community that comes to my live sessions on Insight is such a beautiful community from all over the world. So all of you are more than welcome to join that. Any other, the Insight Timer. So it's under my links that Kiki put in there. It's the last two lines, insighttimer.com/choosing mindfulness. So the name of that app came from, it initially started out as a timer for meditators, and you could choose a bell. And so it was an insight meditation practice with a timer. So they called it Insight Timer. And so there's over 10,000 teachers that teach on there. It's just a very lovely site. So it can be a little overwhelming, but just put my name in the search bar and you'll come to my page in the app. So any other last comments or questions about the practice today? I hope you have a few tools in your back pocket now that you can pull out. It's like, what does my nervous system need? I need sunshine, or I need some color of beauty. I just got a whiff of lavender as I was teaching because I have some lavender buds in my office here. So it's like, oh, that's so nice. So, thank you. Thank you, Beth, for the hearts. And thank you all for being willing to take time out of your day to practice with the Big Bear Retreat Center. Thanks, Rose.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Bhanu, for joining us today.
You're
I just
very
want to remind folks and redirect folks to the Venmo information that we shared for Bhanu there. We here at BBRC and the teachers that come to facilitate the space with us and for us, or I guess I'm speaking specifically about the teachers work on Dana. So this is actually offered freely, their time and their teachings and their expertise. Dana is the Pali word for generosity, and is a very, very, very old practice that is still continued today and is a huge reason why these practices have spread across the world as they have from teachers who generously offer them to folks. And so while BBRC isn't necessarily tied to a particular lineage, it is a practice that we uphold with the teachers that we work with. And so if you feel that you've benefited from this experience today, I invite you to take a look at the links again. And you can offer anything that you're able. So it's really opportunity to offer not what or to be mindful of what feels accessible. And if simply your time and your attention is what you have to offer today, then that's perfectly fine. And if you have the capacity and resources for perhaps a financial donation, then the Venmo information is there for you. And other than that, we're really excited to see you all here. We will be taking a break next week, so there won't be lunchtime mindfulness next week, but we'll be back on December 3rd with Don Mauricio. And I think that's it. Thank you again, everyone, and thank
well,
you, Bob.
thank you all for your practice. So may you share this with all those that you come into contact with.
Take good care, everyone.